Hello, this is Hobie W, the coach of your Cincinnati Bagons, and this is my UP3 season draft. Now, if you guys don't know what the UPC is, though, if you're watching, you're probably in it. UPC is an unbanned draft where Uber's Mons are allowed. So, for example, Mons such as Kyogre, Mewtwo, Yveltal, they're allowed. A little bit of backstory. Before the draft, one thing I really wanted to grab was Yveltal, but being that I was pick number 12, the wheel pick, so not that bad, but there was no way Yveltal was going to fall. So I had to scrap every single one of my draft plans and make one from scratch. Now, if you guys have been following me, I haven't been doing that well in my previous drafts. So I decided I wanted to go back to something new and to something old and get a very good water, fire, grass core. Alright, on that note, my S tier is Palkia. As you can see, Palkia is my Z Crystal user. And overall, I think Palkia is it's a really good bulky mon. Seeing its HP is 90, which isn't that bad, but 100 defense, 120 special defense, 120 attack, 150 special attack, and 100 speed. So overall, it's your Uber Dragon. I know some people say it's not the greatest water type, and I tend to agree with them. But given that there were two mons that I really had my heart set on, being a fire and a grass type, Palkia was the only other available water type that I was kind of interested in. Kyogre got taken, pick number 1. So we ended up with Gabriel Conager. He is a Z Crystal user, as Palkia would probably always be on most teams. Alright. Speaking of the fire type, we have Yeet, the Blaziken. Now, speed boost Blaziken, clearly. As you can see, Blaziken, as all of you know, Blaziken's just an incredible mon. It's fast, it hits hard, both physically and specially, and especially with Z Crystals that I've given it, it'll be able to just destroy anything. Set up a Swords Dance, and suddenly you're golden at +1 speed. Scare something out, and then, or you can even just nuke a wall that's going to come in. Alright. Speaking of walls, and the one mon that, if you guys have been leagued with me for a long time, one mon you'll know I absolutely love is Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur, while being maybe not the best wall in an Uber's draft, it's a mon that I absolutely love. I think it's got great typing with Thick Fat, and it hits pretty hard too. Great defenses, hits pretty hard. The only thing it can't really do is run fast, but considering I've got Speed Boost Blaziken, I think that's already covered. Not much else to say. I just think it's a really good, thick wall. Hence the name, Bulky Bra. Next mon, we have RNGesus, the Jirachi. Jirachi's, the Pixies in general, are just great. You know, I love Celebi. It's one of my favorite mons to use. Jirachi's fun, as always. You know, you can run that scummy Scarf Ironhead set, or you can run a more supportive Wish Stealth Rock type set, which, given on my team, as you'll see later on, it'll be able to do basically anything. It'll be able to fill whatever role it wants, which is incredible. Next up, we have Manilo, the Mandibuzz. Don't criticize the name, guys. Mandibuzz has, not only is it a defogger, which at this point I need, but it's got incredible defensive synergy with Mega Venusaur and Jirachi. Those three together make a core which is going to be really difficult for anyone to break through if they try to. Plus, of course, you know, it's bulky, it's got foul play, it's got pretty good defenses, 110 HP it's really good. Next up, you know what we got. We got the Komala the God. Uh, you all know I had to grab it. It was just Kamala's. I love it so much. It's such a fun mon that I love, and it's normally, it's got removal, which at this point I really wanted, and it's not going to be one of my drafts if I don't get Kamala. And I figured Kamala would probably go at some point, so when I figured I might as well grab it at round 5 or round 6. All right, next up we have May Queen the Rabombi. Rabombi, at this point I needed a fairy, as pretty clear, given that I have Jirachi and Palkia for the other two Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I figured Rabombi was a decently cheap, pretty good fairy. It's got webs, which I didn't draft it for that, but it's always a nice option. It's got great speed in this case. Special attack, it's not the greatest, but it can hit kind of hard. Rabombi, it's a fairy which can support a lot of stuff. Next up we have Error 404, the Rotom. I love Rotom. It's such a fun mon. Now, you guys, you may remember Easy using it before, and ever since I've seen him use it before, I've tested it out and tried it, and it's a mon I've had great fun with. I've loved having all the, it can be surprisingly bulky, it can hit surprisingly hard. And at this point, its type synergy worked really well with my team. I wanted a Ghost. I wanted an Electric. Levitate was great, considering at this point I was kind of ground weak. Even though I did have Mandibuzz. Still didn't appreciate Earthquake spam. Then we have Murasaki, the Acelgor. Acelgor, you all know what it is. It's a fast mon, sets up hazards, can deal a bit of damage. Get in, get out, deal with that. No two ways about it. I just really wanted a fast mon. 145 speed is great, especially considering prior to that my fastest mon is 124 and 100 before that. Granted, speed boost, Blaziken, but I wanted a naturally very fast mon which could just put on some pressure immediately. Then we have BB Thick, the Piloswine. Piloswine, if any of you guys have used it in the past, you'll know it's a decent Stealth Rock setter, which at this point my only other option was Jirachi, and I didn't want to force that on Jirachi. That's an Ice type, which at this point I didn't have. It's a Ground type, again, which at this point I didn't have. It's a Tier 3, I needed another Tier 3, and I didn't really like any others. So I figured, I'd grab an Ice type, I'd grab a Ground type, I'd grab a Stealth Rocker. It just fit everything I needed. Then we have Absolute Zero, the Sneasel. At this point in my draft, I actually drafted Cincino over Sneasel. But using post-draft free agencies, I grabbed Sneasel because I really wanted... I liked its Dark typing. Dark typing was one of the... Offensive Dark typing, I should say, is one of the types I didn't have. Mandibuzz is Dark, but it's not the most offensively pressuring mon. 115 speed tier, really what I wanted it for. Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, can run Bandit, can run Life Orb, can run Sash. It's just a fun mon that has a bunch of different sets. It can be offensive. Maybe I'll run Special Sneasel against one of you guys. You're gonna fear that 35 special attack. And my final mon is James the Chimecho. Chimecho, a lot of people don't really like it. I think it's alright. It's got Wish, it's got Heal Bell, it's got Recover. It can be for a tier 5, it can be a bulky psychic type, which I already have Jirachi for that, but bulky psychic types are never bad things to have, especially considering I only have 2. You know who I'm talking to. But yeah, Chimecho, bulky, fits my team really well. Levitate again, helps with ground, because I never like ground spam, it's never fun to face, and it gives me 3 immunities to ground, which is great. Alright, that was my draft recap. Sorry it was pretty short. I'm on a bit of a time crunch right now, but wanted to get this done and show you all my thoughts. Alright, thanks.